And Landstrom.
Thank you. And thank you, Eric and John, for having me here. I appreciate it. And thank you, all of you, for coming. So I want to talk about feeling seen and being seen. How many of you in this room are feeling like it's exhausting to keep on posting to be seen all the time? Any hands? Well, in this market now, when you have to be out there as a business owner, and you have to be seen all the time at all different platforms. And it can get, for me, it gets exhausting. And I know whenever I post my clients' work, the pictures or the photographs I take of my clients, yeah, I get traction, but it's mostly traction if there's a very attractive person. And I get traction if I post something about me. Right, Derek. So that means that people are attracted to you, your message, and attracted people. And we all know that beauty and sex sells, right? Those are the two things. So for many years, I've been a photographer. I have been photographed people. I've been photographed speakers, authors, coaches. It's been kind of my jam in the branding. And I also photograph a lot of women in lingerie called boudoir. But for many years, I photographed all of you, but I didn't really see you. I didn't see you, or you, or you, because I didn't see myself. So you can't always judge a package from the outside, what's going on the inside. And I get emotional about this every time because it has to do with my son and my family. And what happened with me, my story and why I'm standing here is because if my story can change one person's life, then it's all worth it. And well, this is now 12 years ago, October 11, and my rug underneath my feet got pulled out of me because my ex-husband now threw me out of the house with my 5-year-old. In 24 hours, I became broke, homeless, I was in jail, and I lost custody. It was like hitting all of the worst things in 24 hours. So I was married to a narcissist. He controlled everything. He controlled what I wore. If I wore something nice, if I came out dressed like this, it's like, who are you going to see? Why are you dressed like that? So eventually, my self-esteem was down here. I didn't know who I was anymore. I came here from Sweden as an immigrant, chasing the American dream, and I ended up in the American nightmare. And so this went on. After I became homeless, I put all my, whatever I can get out of the house. I had 24 hours to get out of the house because what happened was, one day when I came home, he was being so abusive, I was so afraid, and I had a taser that I used to have with me when I was walking the dog. So he came after me, and he had this crazy look in his eyes, and I was getting worried. So I took the taser, and I said, get the heck out of my room right now, because I had put locks on my room. I was so afraid. So what he did, he went and called the police and said, my soon-to-be ex-wife is threatened to kill me. And I didn't know that the taser was a weapon. 15 minutes later, 2 policemen showed up at the house. I told them the story and said, you know what, I'm a prisoner in my own house. I don't have any money. He controls everything I do. I have to write grocery lists to go to the grocery store, and I was afraid for my life. And they said, did he hit you? I said, no. Did he threaten to kill you? I said, no. I was just afraid. And he said, well, unfortunately, we have to take you to the police station. Ladies, any ladies out there watching? Keep this in mind, okay? If something happens to you, and you have mace or anything else to protect yourself, you make sure that you say that they tried to threaten or do something to you, okay? Or it's your fault. So I ended up in jail for 13 hours or something. I don't even have an unpaid parking ticket, okay? And to make a long story short, I ended up sleeping in my car with my 5-year-old. I slept on people's couches. I went through about 6 months of living hell, where I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't think this is not my life. This is not what I envisioned coming here. And one day, with my suitcases in the back of my car, because I wasn't quite sure if I was going to sleep in the car or if I was going to sleep at a friend's house or where I was sleeping. So I roll up to school in the pickup lane with all the other moms, dressed nice. Nobody knew what was going on. And my little 5-year-old jumps in, and he goes in the back seat, and he taps me on the shoulder. Hey, Mommy, let's go home. And I didn't have a home. I didn't have a home to go home to. So that was the day where I had my, okay, nobody's going to come and rescue me. I had to rescue myself. So that is what I did. I started my journey with The Secret, and day and night I was listening to motivational speeches. I was starting following speakers, and pulled myself together and eventually got a job as a boudoir photographer. And I thought, who the heck wants to have all these pictures in their underwear, right? Little did I know that was going to change my life. I saw what it did for women. I saw how something happens when we take our clothes off and we own ourselves, or we're being vulnerable. And then, of course, as I was learning to build myself back up again, I was reading books like Think and Grow Rich by Dear Sharon. And I learned that lingerie is not sexy, but assets and money is sexy. So I had to put my big girl pants on and become a business owner, because I didn't know anything about business. I was an artist. And back when I was younger, when I was sitting in class when there was math, I was sitting at the window dreaming about palm trees and being somewhere else. And I had straight A's in math and English, and I ended up in America being an artist. So there you go. So to make a long story short, what happened was I got so inspired about changing women's life, and I started a campaign. Actually, let me backtrack. I opened up my own studio in 2017 after building everything up slowly, and I kept on reinvesting in myself, in mentors, coaches, because what you don't know, and you got to learn from somebody, right? And so that's how I got back up on my feet. And when I started my studio in 2017, I thought, okay, I'm going to have a campaign of photographing women in lingerie and see how many will come in. And I thought, nobody's going to want to. Oh, by the way, they had to be above 40, okay? So I thought, who wants to take their clothes off after 40? We've been through a lot of things. I got so many people that I couldn't even keep up with all the leads that I got in from this ad that I ran. That just tells me that we want to be seen. We want to be seen and heard. Not everybody sees us. We don't know what's going on the inside. I can't even tell you how many stories I've heard from women in my studio, or what they've been through, what have changed when I show them how I saw them and not what they saw and said in the mirror to themselves. How many ladies in here look in the mirror sometimes and are like, oh my God, what happened? Right? I mean, men too, I don't know, maybe you guys do the same thing, but most men just roll out of bed and they're just like, I'm awesome. So my whole thing is I don't want anybody to feel the way I feel. And so with this project that I named Ageless Women, and we're now getting into season 2 where I'm photographing women. I put together a magazine, and that's when we launched. We launched a magazine with a online seminar where I had 6 women speaking. We donated back to domestic abuse and got 4 women through from the shelters up and back out from this seminar with all these women, about 150 women on there. So I want to finish this talk with, you just never know in the grocery store, wherever you are, whoever is sitting next to you, where they've been, just give them a compliment or say hi. Or so why don't you just turn to your neighbor and just say, I see you. Because I see all of you now, because I've done the work on myself, and I do love myself now, no matter what anybody says. So on that note, I say thank you.